Area DMG.
Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Philip Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I have out this little board over here, right? This whiteboard. Took one of my whiteboards off the wall, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to explain what I mean by ambulatory culture. You may have seen those weird little things at the beginning of each video now. That little thing goes, Area DMG, all that stuff, right? And it mentions content for the ambulatory generation. So it's about time I explained what I mean by ambulatory. Well, to be ambulatory is to be in constant motion. It's to move forward, backwards, to the side, anything. Like think like a Kansas City shuffle. They look left, you go right. But yeah, it's ambulatory. It means to move, to be in motion. It's also a medical term, and we adapted it for DMG Ice because, well, the whole point of that is to celebrate portable systems. Portable systems and portable culture are something where you are always connected to other people or other things or other experiences or new items and new experiences everywhere you go. It's a way of being more conscious, more aware, more there. Everything is important because everything is important. In other words, an ambulatory person is what we kind of want people to be. And that's why we have all this weird content. We have our educational panels, which are interesting. We have our video game stuff. But mostly this channel is about video games. Area DMG is about video games. We started as DMG Ice, which DMG Ice is about video games, but we also love culture and art. We love animation a lot. I believe that animation is art, and it's one of the things that kind of drives us forward. You see, animation is a celebration of the human imagination, and ambulatory culture is the ability that we have now through our connections, through our phones, through our Nintendo Switch, through our home consoles and stuff, through our portable consoles, through laptops, through mobile phones, through everything that we have to be more connected to each other. Now, there is a flip side of ambulatory culture, and we refer to that as, well, this is going to sound terrible. We refer to that as, no, this is just drying out. Yay! Stationary culture. I know, right? Big surprise. The opposite of always in motion is to always be still, right? Okay. Ambulatory culture is a want to try new things. It's a want to transcend to be a better you. It encompasses a lot of different things. The ambulatory generation is the generation that we have now. It's a generation that is a load of contradictions. It really, it's a generation that still buys they'll buy paperbacks when they buy audiobooks, or they'll go and experience new things while looking and appreciating the older things. It's essentially, I guess the best way to put it is, a stationary person and an ambulatory person could walk into a forest, right? A stationary person will look at everything around them and go, oh, there's all sorts of terrible things here. There's all sorts of things that are need to be fixed. This is probably going to go away. I don't really want to be here. It's cold. I don't know if I don't really want to do this. A stationary person is a person who's not open to new experiences. An ambulatory person goes in and goes, I don't know what some of these trees are. I want to find out. An ambulatory person is a person who's curious. They want to know what people think. And they want to be able to understand other people. They want to grow and be more expressive, to be, like I said, a better human, a better person. A lot of ambulatory culture is about making humanity better. It's about making us more connected. Now, there are problems that can come with connection. And we'll get into that at some point because we'll be doing videos about various types of psychology or concepts. I'm calling these viral speak. The idea is that I just want to talk for a bit about some stuff with you, my audience, and just ramble on a bit so you can hear what I think about things. Or some of these I'll be in, like you can see my face or whatnot. I'll do some of these like that. And some of these will be over video game footage because, I've been recording a lot of good video game footage. And some of these will be like this, where we have a whiteboard and I talk about a different concept or a reference idea. For this one, we're talking about ambulatory culture and stationary culture. And I guess the best way to put it would be, well, in order to fully explain what I mean by ambulatory, we're going to have to go back to the very beginning. And by very beginning, I mean the Nintendo Game Boy, right? I grew up with these. Most people right now grew up with the Nintendo DS, which is an example of where we're going with that. Some people will be growing up with the 3DS. There are kids today who've never owned a 3DS. They may own just a Switch or a Vita or just a cell phone. Cell phones have become more ambulatory than anything else. I mean, you're holding a computer in your hand. It's deeply you, it's deeply personal, but you are connected to everyone. You can call people, you can meet people, you can find new things. You have at your disposal the entirety of the internet in all its good and bad ways. But the whole point of ambulatory is that once upon a time, we had portables, like the Nintendo Game Boy. Now, the fun thing about the Nintendo Game Boy is that if you have a Nintendo Game Boy and another person also has a Nintendo Game Boy, let's say you like the same game. Guess what you can do? On many of these games, you can link up, you can connect. You are connected. Now, over time, that connection became wireless, but the concept remains. The concept of being ambulatory is that you are always connected. You're open to that. You can contact people. You can talk to people. It's not being social so much as it's being social with a purpose. Now, there are people who are asocial and you don't want to go out and do things. You don't have to go outside to be ambulatory. You just have to be able to willingly go outside of your own comfort zone. You see, when you connect to people, you leave yourself open in some way. Every time we connect to other people, we leave ourselves, a little bit of ourselves with that other person. We spread that. And those other people, they affect us. They leave us with experiences or bits and pieces of themselves. Everyone around us makes us into somebody new. Ambulatory people are about becoming a better human being, a better person, through being around different kinds of people or talking to different types of people or reading new and exciting things. A stationary person will stick to one thing. A stationary person will not seek out something. They'll be afraid to do it. Now, stationary thinking is, I failed at this. I never want to do it again. Ambulatory thinking is, why did I fail at this? What can I learn from it? An ambulatory person is okay with, I made a bad trade with this Pokemon. Its IVs were not where I wanted it to be. A stationary person goes, you know what? This is terrible. We need to ban this type of thing. It makes me mad. You never go to a stationary person will never understand why something makes them mad. They'll never look at something and go, well, this made me mad. Why did it make me mad? Is there a real justification for my own anger? I guess the best way to put this would be, let's say you have a bad day at work. Let's say you work in, say, a retail place or an office, and a coworker or a customer did something terrible. The ambulatory person would come home and like talk about it to like their cat or their family or whatever to and be like, hey, this bad thing happened at work. That was pretty awful. That's a bad thing, right? But the stationary person would go, man, this person did a bad thing at the work and it was bad. That person is terrible. You see, a stationary person will blame a person. An ambulatory person will blame an action. Is that making any sense to you guys? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, while you're here, make sure you hit that like button, that thumbs up button, hit that share button, etc. And let's talk about ambulatory culture. An ambulatory culture person is someone who will try new things. You're going to watch a new show or eat a new type of food. It's that openness to an experience. A stationary person is an ambulatory person who's given up. A stationary person is a stagnant person. I guess the best way you could look at it is ambulatory means to be always in motion. So it's like an ocean or a river. It's always in motion toward one way. And a stationary person is like a person in a bucket or a glass of water. They're just there. They don't move. They don't really go anywhere. They don't do anything or become anything better than what they are. And you don't want to be stationary. And the reason you don't want to be stationary is because then you don't grow as a human being. You don't become a better person. You don't get better. And the problem with being stationary is that when you're stationary, when you're in one place, you start to attract bad things. And we'll go into what some of those bad things are. We'll go into things like various disorders or types of mental diseases and health, because part of this has to do with, well, mental well-being. You'll start attracting addictions and you'll start attracting problems. Stationary people aren't happy. Now, we're not supposed to be happy all the time. Our grief, our sadness is part of our experience. It's part of being out there. If you're going to be running through the woods, of course you're going to trip now and then. You'll scrape your knees, you'll get hurt. And part of being ambulatory is that willingness to get hurt. Stationary people don't want to get hurt. I guess you could say, you know how there was that poem about the two roads, the one less traveled by, etc., etc.? No. In ambulatory and stationary culture, there's one road. That road goes all the way into the distance, out into the unknown, to a horizon where you can't see anything past like the road. You can't see all the way down the road. You look at the road and it looks like there's nothing there. An ambulatory person looks at that road and says, I want to know what's at the end of this, because there has to be something there, because why would there be a road if there's nothing there? I mean, I've been here, they can look behind them and go, here's where I've been, here's what's around me, I want to see what's in front of me, I want to see what's there at the end of that road. Stationary person goes, I see nothing in the future of going down this road. That's an empty road. Behind me was road. Some of it was cool. Some of this is good. Around me is some road. This is interesting. Some of it is. Some of it's good. Some of it's bad. But up in front, I don't know what's up there. I can't see anything up there. I can't see anything up there, so I don't want to go down it. I'm looking for another road. That's a stationary person. An ambulatory person looks at it and goes, well, I'm going to see where this goes. Now, the problem is that being stationary isn't always a choice. Sometimes people are put into a stationary position by other people. One thing is bullying. We've had a real renaissance in how that hurts people, how that affects people. Now, the stationary thing would be like, well, this happened, you just have to live with it. Ambulatory goes, I don't have to live with it, I can learn from it. And that's why an ambulatory person or ambulatory culture will always seek out connections, always try new things. Even things that seem weird. Like, a stationary person will look at something on the internet and go, well, that's probably awful or racist or terrible or whatnot. An ambulatory person will go, well, why is this awful or racist or whatnot? Why do people think this way? I want to know. It's about being inquisitive. It's about asking questions. That's what an ambulatory person does, and that's what we kind of do here on Area DMG. If you really want to know the purpose of Area DMG, you need to look at some of our videos in our educational panels, in our social issues panels, in what we do or what we talk about during these games. We do gaming paraphilia, and I named it that because a paraphilia is a type of mental-like. It's a fetish, essentially. That's what gaming paraphilia means. We like to try new games. I want to show you interesting stuff that I liked or I was told to check out, and I was like, hey, I'll check this out. I want to experience these things and tell you about that experience so that you can maybe seek out that experience yourself. And you'll find in our educational panels, there's literally hours upon hours or days upon days of educational content of every kind of stripe and every kind of, well, opinion. I think it's important for people to look at that. If you look at like Radio DMG, what we do in our interviews and such, the thing with the interviews is that I'm trying to get a new experience out of that. I want my viewers, you, to be ambulatory. I want you to experience new things. Now, all these new things aren't always going to be safe. All these new experiences aren't always going to be pleasant. Like, if you try a food and you didn't like it, at least you tried it. And then maybe, if you've considered it, maybe you should try it again. Because it's okay to not like something the first time you see something, or view something, or read something, or eat something. It might not be okay to continue to build and stew on that old situation and not go for something new, not to be ambulatory. Now, let me explain a little bit about how ambulatory culture operates. I guess the best way to look at it would be to, well, let's talk about the 3DS. We got a 2DS here, a 2DS XL, and a 3DS, a new 3DS over here. But I want you to focus in on what we have right here. You see that little green light? This is an evolution of ambulatory concepts. This is always searching for other things like this. And it's kind of what, when they announced the whole idea with Street Pass, I was like, this is fantastic. It came from the bark mode that they had on Nintendogs. And I realized that, yes, this is what I wanted. This is a way to connect to other people around you with like interests or with new experiences, because you can see what people are playing, you can see what people are doing, and you can look at that and be curious about it. Ambulatory culture is essentially to be curious about the life around you, to want to know things. When you don't want to know things, when you don't strive forward, when you quit moving, when you stagnate, when you start to become stationary, you attract problems like Anhedonia or Anhedonia or okay, I'll write that one down because that's a word that I want to talk about in another video, because we are going to do videos about different psychology concepts like conversion, or what bipolar disorder is, or what borderline personality disorder is, which is different from bipolar. Some people seem to think those are the same. They are not. We might talk about NPD or DPDR, which is depersonalization, derealization. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence. We're going to talk about stuff was falling over. We're going to talk about conversion. We're going to talk about all these little psychological concepts, but this is our introduction video. We're mostly talking about ambulatory culture and a little bit about what we're doing in this upcoming series, which will be in our educational panels as well as our social issue panels when necessary. For example, if we do a video about a darker subject or about something in the news, that will be in our social issues panel, as well, social issues track, as well as in our educational panels track. And with many of these, we'll have game footage over it, over the talking, so that we can, well, so we can continue to show you brand new games and stuff. We'll show you like, oh hey, look at this game that I'm playing here. Have you checked it out? Maybe you'll learn some tricks from watching it. But you'll also learn something from what we're talking about. So we want to talk to people about, well, these types of issues, and we want your feedback actually. I know I've got a lot of younger audience, but I also have a lot of older people who watch these too, and those people always deal with things like anxiety. Right? Anxiety. You deal with stress, which is a different kind of anxiety. You deal with all sorts of problems. And I want to know more about that. I want you to hit those comments, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, share button, etc., etc. But I want you to hit those comments. And I want you to let me know what type of things you're stressing about, what things you're worried about, what things are happening with you. Do you have troubles? Let me know about them, because I want to know about those things. And I want to talk about them. I want to go over all those things, how we deal with those. Like we might do something on, I might see if I can get other people too, like there are people I know who they talk about different issues and problems that they face. We're going to try and keep these like those educational panels where we can talk about other things. We want to know what's going on with people. And we want to know because we're genuinely interested in what people have to say. And that's the best part about being ambulatory, and why you should strive to be ambulatory. An ambulatory person wants to expand where they can go, what they can do, who they know. You see, there's this one quote that I really, really like about, I've got a job right now where I have a day job, like employment, you gotta have that, you gotta pay the rent. But they actually have this really great quote, and I don't think it's their original quote, but I liked it. It was, the best part of our house, or our home, is who we share it with. Now, an ambulatory person wants to share that home with all people. There's room for everyone in this world if everyone makes some room. You're open to hearing other people's opinions, even if you disagree, and you're open with arguing with them. You're open to talking. You're opening to resolving. You're opening to even just rambling. And that's what an ambulatory person should be. A stationary person is set on something. They don't want to learn anything new. Actually, there is a thing for it. We've discovered that certain types of stress, guess what? All that stress like you might have from something, or when you're just angrily posting stuff on Facebook or whatnot, all those things, all that stuff does to you? It actually causes your prefrontal cortex, or rather part of your brain that handles with stress and comprehension, the amygdala, part of your brain actually shrinks. It shrinks. It grows. It grows over time and expansion, but when you're overstressed and whatnot, all that blood flows to that and causes it to shrink. It disconnects parts of your brain, and that makes you more susceptible to things like depression or Alzheimer's, various mental diseases that manifest themselves through prolonged stress. Anhedonia was one of the things I was trying to pronounce earlier. If I remember correctly, it's spelled Ahedionia. Anhedonia. It's essentially where things that you like to do suddenly hold no interest in you for you at all. You don't feel anything from it anymore. It's actually a mental disorder. It's part of depression. It's part of depersonalization. It's part of dissociation, bipolar disorder. It's all sorts of different problems arise from it. It's a symptom of a worse issue. It's a symptom of being too stationary. And it's a symptom that the ambulatory mind must always be on the lookout for. We must always be in motion, always moving forward. So, I hope this kind of explains a little bit of what I mean when I'm talking about ambulatory culture or the ambulatory generation. Again, ambulatory means to move. Ambulatory movement. It just means that you can get up out of your hospital bed. You are in motion. It's to move. Means motion. And the best part about it is because you're in constant motion, either physical motion or mental motion. It means to be on the move. And that's why we're a portable channel. That's why we're focused on portables. Because the days where people are just glued to a PC or to just a home console where they're glued to those wires, no, you don't have to be. You can go places. You can do things. Yeah, you can sit at home actually and be connected with people all the way across the world. You are in motion without being in physical motion. You are new, and there are new ideas you're hitting, new ideas you're trying. And that's what ambulatory means. And that's why we at Area DMG are about ambulatory culture. Because ambulatory means to move. It means to be in motion, to try new things, to go new places. It's the heart and soul of portable gaming. It's a celebration. To be ambulatory means you try new things, new music, new things like that. That's why I feel that our most important tracks here at Area DMG are the educational panels, the social issue panels, and our concerts and music, our cosplay contest stuff, the stuff we do at these conventions, the people we meet at these conventions, the people we talk to at these conventions. All of it is important because all of it is motion. All of it makes us better. Humanity doesn't get better through negative emotion. It doesn't get better by kicking in people's doorways. It doesn't get better by breaking the windows or setting things on fire. Humanity gets better by being ambulatory, by being in mental or physical motion, meaning to go more, to do more, to be around more, to try more, to be more. Ambulatory means motion. Stationary means to stand still. I know people are like, but this requires a lot of energy. Yeah, it does. And it's tough. And it's rough. But it's actually fairly easy if you do it through things that you enjoy. And that's why I love handheld video games and books and movies and music and art. Because those are things where you can find other people. You can connect to other people and find a way to move forward along with them. You don't have to be, I guess the best way to be is, today there's a way that, like, because of the internet, we found new ways to be alone together. We found new ways to to join cliques or find other people who feel the same way about something that we do. And that's important. But it's not just that you find people who feel the same way about something that you do. You need to find people who also don't feel that same way about things that you do. And you need to look at what they do and where they are, and realize that if you go there where people don't agree with you, or where people don't think the same as you, or you try new things, there is one more thing about ambulatory culture, about the ambulatory generation. We are the most vulnerable. Because if you're in constant motion, you're going to get hurt. And that's okay. In fact, I guess in order to be ambulatory, first you must find a way to be brave. And a lot of these videos that we're going to be doing, like the ones we're going to be doing about different topics, we're going to have videos about different topics, and some of those topics will have video game footage behind them to make it a little bit easier. Because, like, looking at a whiteboard here, you're probably like, I don't know what to think about this. I have to look away from it. And some of these I'll be in front of the camera, so I'm talking to you. But on many of them, it's going to be just video game footage behind me, or so. And I'll explain different concepts or ideas, and it'll be okay. We'll talk about ambulatory culture together. We'll move forward. I guess the best way, I think I mentioned the road analogy earlier, would be, let's take a look at, say, sports. Sports are a very ambulatory thing, right? There's different teams, different things and experiences. The whole point of that is to become better. Like, you see people become better athletes. You see people participate in something interesting. In a way, that's ambulatory. It's in motion all the time. But in other ways, it's also stationary in that there are people who don't want to be, they just want to stick with one thing. They just want to stay in one area. They just want to do one thing, and everything else is terrible. And that's not the type of thinking that we like to promote here on Area DMG. We prefer for people to be ambulatory. So let's talk about that with sports, okay? Like the Super Bowl is coming up, right? That's football, right? Not everyone likes football. I'm not the biggest fan of football. Like, this is a football, right? Football looks like bread. It's a football, right? I didn't like football. I was not a big fan of football. My dad liked it because people at his work liked it, I guess. I don't know. I just thought it was just dumb. And then I realized something about football. Football is a lot like chess. And I like chess. I like those types of games. It's like chess or checkers in a way. You have two areas that you're trying to get. You're trying to get this ball into here. How do you get that? You have a bunch of players on this on your thing, right? This is probably not the right amount of players, but whatever. And each of these players has a different thing. You've got the ball right here, and the idea is to get this ball from here in the middle to this other goal, right? And in order to do that, each of these different people has a set move. Like, there's one particular people, they cover this section. And this other type of people, they cover this section, right? It's like chess, where you have knights that only move in an L shape, or bishops that only move diagonally, or rooks that only move forward or backwards, or side to side in an entire row, or the queen that can do anything pretty much, or pawns that only move one space and then can only attack things from the side, right? Each of those has a set rule in chess. With football, each of these people has a set rule that they go to. And the basic idea is to use these people in a way through different plays to get them over here. Now, I was only able to really understand this sport through, this could sound bad, Madden 94 on the SNES. Only time I really realized what football was about was when I tried it as a video game, and I realized, oh, this makes so much more sense now. Soccer is the same way too, except that you have a little bit more flexibility with what the people can do. All the thing is, if everyone's chasing the ball over here, if somebody here kicks that ball over there, who's over here? You're leaving this open, And it occurred to me that it's okay you have to learn about these things. Part of growing up, part of being ambulatory, is learning about things and expanding your own knowledge. I think I probably forgot more about everything than I know, but I can recall some of it. And you know what? That's what these types of videos will be about. Expanding that knowledge for you, our audience. Because when you wake up in the morning, aside from any goals you might have, wake up, eat breakfast, do a little bit of exercises or something if you do that, go to work if you do that, go to school if you do that, go home and then get some sleep or whatnot if you have to. You start each day with a blank slate, essentially. You have a few key points that you want to hit, and then everything else is just should be just icing for that. You have to concentrate on what can I do and how can I learn and how can I grow. And actually, let me give you some homework. I know you're like, wait, This video is like 34 minutes of you rambling about nothing. What are you doing? I'm giving you homework. Ha ha ha. You didn't think this was school, did you? Yeah, it is school. Here's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to give you 3 pieces of homework. And you do these things, and you're going to become, if you're stationary right now, you'll eventually become ambulatory. Now, here's the first thing I'm going to tell you to do. I want you to learn at least one new thing each day. It could be something random. There's a bunch of stuff out there. Like, there are some wonderful videos on YouTube that teach all sorts of new things. Like, you might be like, hey, today I learned that, I learned a little bit of, like, say, the sign language alphabet, right? Or today I learned a little bit about some animal or something. I went and read a Wikipedia article today about something just random. I learned one new thing. And then there's now here's the other thing that I'm going to ask you to do. Okay? First, I want you to learn one new thing. Then 2, I want you at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, 2 times a day, right? Or rather, just tell yourself, okay, what I want you to do is name to yourself 2 things you like about yourself. I want you to say this to yourself out loud. Just give yourself like once a day, twice a day. Name 2 things you like about yourself. Like, you could be like, oh wow, my hair looks nice today. Or wow, this shirt looks good on me today. Or you just need to do that. Just twice a day, tell yourself out loud 2 things you like about yourself. Like, oh, today I have a little bit of energy. I like that about myself. Or, you know, today I felt better and I like that about myself. And then the third thing, this is actually the hardest thing, I want you to, if it's online or if it's in person or whatnot, I want you to say something nice. Yeah, say something nice to 3 different people. Oh, and here's the hardest part. And mean it. I know my handwriting is kind of blah right now. No. There you go. My handwriting is kind of blah, but it's okay. Right? Here are the things I want you to do. This is your homework. In order to be more ambulatory, to improve your mindfulness and awareness, and to become a better human being, to join the ambulatory generation, every day I want you to learn one new thing. Name 2 things you like about yourself twice a day. And then I want you to say something nice to 3 different people and mean it. If you see someone who has like a good haircut or whatnot, or a shirt that you like, hey, I like your shirt. That's nice. Did you mean it? You have to. Or, oh, someone says, someone online posted something, like something that they did, like they got a new job. Congratulate them. Or it's someone's birthday. Say happy birthday to them. But mean it. Say something nice to 3 different people and mean it every time. So, that's your homework. And we'll do other videos about other topics and stuff. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what ambulatory culture is, how I define it, and how to engage in it, and how to be better at something. So, here to reiterate, here's what I want you to do. Learn one new thing each day. Name 2 things you like about yourself twice a day, and then say something nice to 3 different people and mean it. Just do these things every day. This third one is really hard. Even the second one is really hard. The first one is not too hard because we have a connected world of the internet with us everywhere. You can learn some new fact every single day. And you know what? You can use that fact to know something about yourself and then find other things to tell people about. So pretty much learn one new thing, name 2 things you like about yourself twice a day, and mean it. And then 3, say something nice to 3 different people and mean it. They don't have to be at the same time. It can be over the day. There's 24 hours in a day, and you're awake for most of it. Especially if you're like me and you play video games, you're awake for most of it. But that's how you become more ambulatory. That's how you become a better you. That's how you join the ambulatory generation. That's how you're always constantly in motion. Remember, 1, learn a new thing every day. 2, say 2 things you like about yourself twice a day. And 3, say 3 nice things about someone, about different people, to them, and mean it. I know that third one is really tough, especially if you're not around a lot of people. So you'll just have to maybe compliment someone on a forum, or look at somebody's Twitter and say something nice to them on Twitter or Instagram. Like something, and then say that you like it and why you like it, and mean it. You see, that's ambulatory living, ambulatory culture. And that's what we want to promote here on Area DMG. So, what do you think of this video? Let me know in the comments below if you're going to follow those. If you're going to follow those 3 simple steps. 1, learn something new every day. 2, tell yourself 2 things you like about yourself twice a day. And 3, say something nice to 3 different people and mean it. And those will make you a better person over time. They'll make you more ambulatory. And that's what we're aiming for here. We want people to do that. I know, I've been here for 40 plus minutes, and you're probably saying, like, man, why did I sit through this entire thing? Well, I want to thank you for sitting through this entire thing. And, yeah. So, thank you very much. Hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring that little bell so you're notified whenever we have new videos. And we're going to go back to making more video game related videos, unboxing related videos, all these types of videos that you like. And animation related videos. We're going back to doing those animation reviews soon. So yeah, look forward to that. But yeah, like I said, try our 3 steps. Like the first thing was, remember, 1, learn. 2, love thyself. In other words, say 2 things to yourself, about yourself out loud, that you like about yourself twice a day, and mean it. And 3, live with other people. Make the world a little bit better. Tell 3 different people, something good, something nice, something constructive, something you like about them, and mean it. That's actually really difficult. These 2 and 3 are really difficult for a lot of people. But learning to get over those learning new things each day will expand your horizons. At least 1 new thing a day. Telling yourself twice a day 2 things you love about yourself or that you like about yourself will make you a better person because you'll know yourself a little bit more. And then telling at least 3 people, 3 different people, something nice or good, like a compliment, and meaning it will make you a better human being. It'll make the world around you better, which makes it easier for you to learn new things and to find new things that you love about yourself through living and loving others, being ambulatory. So, that's pretty much it. Go ahead and like, subscribe on this video, all that stuff. And we'll see you in the next video, which will definitely be a lot shorter. And I'm just going to go over and fall asleep now. Okay? So, yeah, until the next video comes out, you are now caught up.